Fluffy Butts. It's Foxler again. It's been a long while since I've done a video. And I'd like to touch base on something I just saw today. It was a video documentary called The Fandom. And it talks about the furry fandom and kind of all the facets of it. But there was one part that I actually have a lot of personal experience with in it. And it was one of the individuals that were interviewed in that movie. And that was a person named Boiler, or Boiler Brew. And I like to touch base exactly, what our interactions was, because I don't feel that the way he was describing the general individuals or groups that they were claiming association to myself and the Furry Raiders was 100% accurate. And it's just frustrating that, nobody wants to talk about every bit of the information. They want to cater it to a certain degree.
We have a pocket of individuals here intertwining with the larger online community of the alt-right. Entangled with people that represent a hate message towards marginalized individuals. For the furry community, that's pretty bad, because a lot of us are LGBTIA. I don't think that I would have been the person that I am today if I didn't have furry cons. No doubt.
So, if anybody knows, the Furry Raiders became public knowledge in about 2016 when Zootopia came out. And the reason why when Zootopia came out is because it was the first Furry Raider event to be held. And that was in Denver, Colorado. And the Furry Raiders decided to host a private screening of Zootopia for free for all the local furries. Now, I know that people think, have a lot of different opinions about the Furry Raiders, and a lot of them are negative, but if a group is going out and trying to be bringing furries together to enjoy a movie, that's not like a hateful thing. It's really positive, and that's the enjoyment that we all have in the idea of being in a fandom. And unfortunately, after the said movie event, I was personally attacked for creating the group I did, and also my persona. Once again, the armband became the subject of that matter. And I've talked about numerous times about how this represents my furry pride. And even so people don't believe it or care to see it that way, that's totally fine. But there was one individual that was local to the area that decided to speak their mind, which is totally fine with me. Everybody can have their opinion. But it was a very aggressive, you could say even violent opinion. It started with a piece of hate art of me being punched in the face. And as you can see, it wasn't the most, great first impressions. But it evolved. And it evolved into being attacked verbally on multiple social media locations about how, they were going to violently beat on me or any other furry raider. And I would say that is pretty hateful. That is a hateful message. And you can see with the messages that I'm showing you now that that's what was said. So after that, it got to the point where me and my mate were actually attacked at a meet. And the host was Boiler Room. And she came to us and said, she apologized for everything that happened, and I said it wasn't her fault, in a way, but she kind of took the blame for it, and I kind of understood, it was because, there was both sides of an issue, people saw me as this, Nazi figure, and she helped propel it a little bit. So we came to an agreement, just to let us, be ourselves, bury the hatchet, you could say. She would take down the hate art, and I would move on, and I wouldn't speak of her ever again. That was totally fine, and I thought, that was a great ending, and maybe a work to becoming a better fandom again. Well, then I see this video and her talking about these extremist groups in the local area and how they're part of this, sending out the hate message. And it obviously knows that it was referenced me directly, or the furry raiders as a whole. And I realized that, they're not telling the whole story. They're not telling the whole story about that it's not just one side that's being supposedly sending a hate message. It's both sides. And that is the kind of fandom we're in. Is that they're only catering to one specific message and not being fully transparent about everything. So, unfortunately, I have to bring it up again. I have to bring up the past to let people know that, hey, it's not what it is. There's a lot more to the story. And if people disagree with it, don't like it, oh well, that's just how it is.